Have you yourself experienced the end of a marriage? Have you felt pain? Feel like your world was falling apart? But at the end, you found a blessing and a gift in what was happening? If you want to know more about my story, stay tuned. When a marriage ends, it's easy to focus on the loss, the pain, and the sense of failure. But what if we shift perspective and see it as an opportunity for growth, self-discovery, and a new beginning? I heard from several individuals, mainly women, who had gone through the end of a marriage or partnership, and they shared their insights, how this difficult experience ultimately led to a positive outcome. At first, you feel devastated when a marriage ends, but looking back, it was the catalyst for the rediscovery of myself and purpose of my passions. I heard that a lot. Others say the end of a marriage forced me to confront my own insecurities and work on my personal growth. It was a tough journey, but I emerged stronger and more resilient. So, really, the end of a marriage or long-term partnership can be a wake-up call to prioritize self-care, self-love, and personal development. It's an opportunity to redefine who you are and what you want out of life now that you're probably, done with raising children, and you kind of have to find your own identity again, because it was so dominated by the family life and the partnership you had. Unfortunately, back then, like in my case, I didn't know anything about self-love and stay in your sovereignty and in your power, and don't give your power away to a partner or your husband or your wife if you're a male. It's so important to keep your own little life going while you're part of a big, the big container of the relationship. And ideally, your partner is on board with that. He does his same thing on his own, but always with the intentions in mind that it also fits into the container of the relationship. Realizing that my marriage was over, it was quite a while before it actually happened. There was a lot of turmoil. It was a very up and down and very complicated marriage. But I waited it out till my kids were out of the house and, didn't need me anymore in that sense. So I had to do a lot of inner work. I did a lot of reading and listening and read books, yes, and podcasts and YouTube videos, like from actual people, psychiatrists and psychologists that have degrees in this and working in this field, social workers that know what they're talking about. I'm not talking about somebody that puts a video up like me here. So yeah, take this as with a grain of salt. This is just my experience, but I have heard, as I said, and read about other women's experiences, and they pretty much align with what I'm talking about right now. So again, coming back to what happened to me, after realizing this is not working out for me, I kind of mentally prepared myself for this end and tried to just detach myself from the whole idea of being in a relationship and focusing on myself, focusing on self-care, focusing on my mental and emotional health. That's the most important thing. How to deal with emotions, because nobody shows you, nobody teaches you that. It's not something they teach you in school. They should. It's very important. It should be taught when you're somewhat young. A lot of heartbreak and misery would probably be avoided. Of course, we do need some, friction in life, otherwise how we grow. But it's just, there's some sad stories that people take their life because they can't emotionally and mentally not take it anymore. So if there would be some psychology or just sociology lessons in school that would help you deal with certain things in life, I guess. How to deal with your emotions. Don't suppress them, work through them, and learn how to have a coping mechanism to learn how to regulate your emotions. That doesn't mean you have to be a stone cold person and not have any emotions. That's not it at all. It's actually more of the opposite. To deal with right away what is going on, and then figure out a way of when you're triggered by something, and learn how to work through it. So after all that, I did all the work. Obviously we're never done, but a big leap from where I came from. Detach myself from the relationship, detach myself from that whole family bubble thing that really was not happening anymore because the kids were moved out or they were busy with their own lives. They didn't need me as a mother anymore in that sense, right? So what you should do is surround yourself with with a supportive community. Seek therapy and practicing self-reflection. So that this way you will emerge with a new sense of purpose and direction. You actually really think about what you're going to do next. Where is your purpose, and do you want to follow your passion, or is there something that you really really passionate about? Not passionate about being creative and do something like that, but do you have any? Do you want to help people, for example? So is your passion you have, can that be helpful for a bunch of, the broader society, not just yourself? And I think that you have this kind of is a mission, you help. It's good to have a mission and a goal in life. So in my case, I moved to Europe. I actually knew that I always want to live in Portugal, but when I left Canada and I had a little plan, I made sure I have some money set aside through the work so I could survive a little bit without working. You definitely need to do that, whatever plan you have. Obviously, getting a divorce doesn't mean you have to change your life totally over. Being just divorced is the whole big change, right? But usually that awakens, like we were talking about before, about other things that could help, just have a more fulfilled and happier life. So in my case, I always wanted to move to back to Europe, especially Portugal was very appealing. Again, a lot of reading and watching and researching, and found that would probably be the best place for me to be, and which I discovered when I visited the first time in 2022. So I left in May 2023, and my intentions was to travel in Europe around a little bit before I actually would settle in Portugal, but for some reason that didn't really happen. So I just kind of settled in Portugal earlier than I wanted to, which is fine. I can travel. I'm in Europe now, so traveling is not a big issue. I can travel in Europe, around Europe easily if the opportunity comes up again, and I hope I will, because I love traveling. So I made the move to Portugal, and it comes with all the ups and downs and difficult things, and you have to go through those to kind of understand yourself and what you're going to do now with your life. It's like falling off a cliff and see where you land. You're just not sure. You kind of try to navigate the way how you enter the water so that they don't get hurt. With the least impact on your body, I guess. Yeah, and you can see my journey on here on my YouTube channel. Sometimes I put up just vlogs, what I'm doing. And lately, I'm talking more about the solo living as a woman and the life in Portugal itself, like how much it costs and how the things that are positive and negative, like every country has. Like Canada, obviously, I wanted to leave Canada because, again, there's a video up here somewhere I can put that or down there, or just go on my channel and watch it, why I left Canada. So if you yourself going through the end of a marriage or a partnership, remember that it's not the end of your story. It may be the beginning of a new chapter filled with growth, resilience, and unexpected blessings. You never know what's going to happen, You kind of just go one day at a time. And usually, if you put your mind to something, it actually happens. Because it all starts, the thoughts you're thinking that will happen, You go to the fridge and get an orange juice. You think about it before you're doing it. That's the same thing with whole life, except it appears more complicated than it actually is. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you went through. Please comment. If you have, comment your experiences, obviously as much as you want to share. Keep your privacy. Let me know if you went through the same. Give me a thumbs up. And tell me what other videos you like to watch. Do you like these kind of videos about the change of life, the change of, being single at the moment? I don't want to be single forever, but right now I am, and I need to figure things out, It's pretty good that I'm still single because I'm just not quite settled yet, I guess, even though it's hard for me. But yeah, some people say, oh, it's a blessing to be single. And yes, there's some very good aspects to it. To be living on your own, it's not all bad. Believe me, I've lived for 26 years with 4 other people most of the time. So there is a benefit of being by yourself. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and watch one of these up here and subscribe, ring the bell, and please let me know what do you think about this video, and more importantly, the experiences you had. You went through the same things, or are you going through the same thing, or you're thinking about going, doing this big breakup, There's no, don't be ashamed. I know there's you think you're a failure, but you're not. It's just one part of your life. A new part will emerge. Okay, enough talking. See you over there.